Boom, what's up, Warrior Dads? TJ coming at you. I'm gonna show you the end of my chest workout, this great little superset. And I'm gonna show you two versions of the cable flies that I'm doing. I'm doing some from low to high, but I'm not coming too high on purpose. I wanna demonstrate, so if you've had shoulder pain, shoulder issues, if you're doing them from bottom to tops, if you come up too high, then it can start to collapse that joint together and put pressure on that inflamed tendon or insertion point or what have you. So, first off, take your stronger side and get that cable first. And then you're gonna see me get this cable, walk toward it, and get behind it before I put pressure on it. And so that's designed on purpose that way. So let's do a set real quick. And then I'm gonna show you the superset, which if you're in the middle of struggling with shoulder pain, don't do the superset, just do the flies. Because I'm gonna superset this with dips, because that's what I've been doing. But that's something that you can progress up to. And so I'll just switch it over to there when I go over to do the dips. I'll switch it over there and just show you what I'm doing real quick. And you'll see I'm not leaning too far forward, which can put pressure on there. I'm sort of sitting straight up. I'm sitting forward on the chair. And I'm doing a narrower range of motion to keep it only in the healthy range, not too far up where you're putting strain on that joint, keeping it in a good, and keeping my elbows not flared out to the side, but I'm keeping them tucked in. So I'm gonna tell you that now, but I'm just gonna point it over there, and you kind of see, and you can kind of study my form from afar. But I'm just doing a quick little filming thing. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube and just make it quick and simple, but I wanna give you this little pointer. And this is a great way to finish your chest workout. I'll just fill you in what I personally did today. I started with machine press, which is a great, safe way to start if you've had shoulder issues. So starting on a machine press, I like, for some reason, and it depends upon person to person. So, you know, on machine presses where you just adjust the plates and you push out, there's ones that hinge from the bottom out, and there's ones that hinge from the top out. The ones that hinge from the top out, for me, that the arc of the range of motion is in a healthier range of motion. The ones that go out like this, they tend to put the rotator cuff forward, and that it pinches on my old injury. I've managed to, the injuries are always sort of still there, but to the point where it just reminds me to keep good form and reminds me to do all the things that I train you guys on how to do. I implement those in my life on a daily and weekly basis. So I practice what I actually preach. So I've overcome shoulder injury, hip injury, knee injury, Achilles tendon injury, just to name my physical injuries themselves, not my health issues like diabetes, asthma, heart disease, and so forth that I've been overcoming and have in remission, all of those. One that plagues me, especially now that we've had a lot of fires and stuff, is the asthma. But there's a way to manage that too, so that you're taking as little medication as possible. Because too much of that medication, asthma medication, over a long period of time really affects your endocrine system and and can give you adrenal fatigue and all kinds of stuff. So now let's do another set before my muscles get cold. And then I'll fill you in on what I did the whole workout, and I'm gonna show you what I'm doing right now. So I'm gonna get the strong side first. See? And I'll come over here closer to the weak side and get kind of behind it. You don't want to put tension on it. I don't want to put tension on it and then have to wrestle it into position. That wrestling it into position compromises that injury. It puts you at risk to re-injuring that injury. So you always get closer to it. We'll typically have one side that's worse than the other. And then I'll walk out into it. I'm a little cattywampus, so I'll have to go at a crooked angle here. Kind of hold the top a little bit. Pause at the top. And I'm flexing my stomach while I'm doing this, and I'm leaning forward. You can see it from the side. You know what? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna point it at the mirror. You can see my angle from the side, maybe. Oh no, it's not gonna work. Never mind. Let me get this a little more straight on. So let's bang out this set, and then I'll point the camera over to the dips. All right. Again, boom. Walk into it, and so you always step back to let them go, and then you get them, and then you walk out into it and increase that tension. And then I'm slightly leaning forward instead of back, slightly leaning forward, but my head's up and my chest is out. Instead of, I don't want to round my shoulders forward, I want to kind of stick my chest out. So it keeps the shoulder structure open in a healthier position. And I'm not doing it with my shoulders up, I'm doing it with my shoulders pressed down. I'll fill you in on the rest of my workout as soon as I finish this little superset. Now, you'll see me go over here. Oh, there, I see. And I'll go over there and do the dip. What I did. So you'll see, I'll give you a little demonstration. So you'll see I sat a little forward on the machine, kind of on the edge of the seat and leaned forward a little bit. I didn't do this. I didn't sit way back in the machine where I'm like this. And sat forward on the seat and put my feet in front of the footrest. Because I found that I can get my shoulder in a healthier position. So it's all about going with a super light weight and then experimenting, tucking your elbows in and finding that sweet spot where it doesn't aggravate that. If you sit too far back and you do it and it irritates it, then don't do that. Change your positioning. Work in that positioning. Don't let your elbows flare out yet either, like this. That really puts them in a bad position. My shoulder down, chest out. I'm leaning forward, but it's like I've got my chest out and then I'm leaning forward. I'm not leaning forward like this, where the shoulders come forward, because then that puts the whole shoulder structure in a bad biomechanical position. So I want to have that chest down and out, and then I can lean forward into it. See the difference? And then my elbows are in tight. Like that. And doing cables and dips at the end. If you can't do dips yet, you either go super light, or if you feel discomfort, don't do them at all yet until you've maybe worked with me, for example, and I'm taking you through an injury protocol for about 6 weeks or so, and then we can maybe incorporate something like that in. The other variation I'm going to do on the cable flies, I already did them, but I'll show you really quick, is going from high to low. But that positioning is important too, to not put that because many times you put it high and then you wrestled into position, you're irritating that injury. And then we tend to like get our shoulders high and go like this, but you're putting that shoulder rounded forward into a bad biomechanical position. So again, it's chest out, leaning forward, and almost lifting up at the end. It's this very subtle feeling, so you have to think about it. It's shoulders down, chest out, leaning forward, and doing it. I'll show you real quick. I don't remember the exact number I had it on before. I had a really good sweet spot before. Let me see. About there. Yeah, about there. You can always do more weight on these. On the bottoms, from the low to high, go with the weight always. On the highs to lowers, you can always go a little bit more weight, but always start with what you feel might be safe. Do a feeler set, and then if you feel can you add a couple plates, you add a couple plates, do another set. feels pretty good. Add a couple more plates. When it finally gets, oh, now this is a serious weight, and then start counting your sets. Those first couple feeler sets, do a couple of feeler sets. Those get the groove and find the right weight for you, and then make from that, after those couple feeler sets, then make the rest of those your working sets. So I'll get the strong side first, and I get that, and I'm coming close to the machine, sort of getting behind the cable and getting it in position. I'm not out here pulling it into position where I have to pull against all that tension and potentially tearing this side. So I stay back in it, and then I walk out into it. And then chest out, shoulders down. And so my chest is out, but I'm leaning forward. So my whole body is leaning at an angle. You know what? I'm gonna show you from an angle. Now, let me show you from this angle. See if I can see if I'm gonna just guess and hope that I got this in the right spot. Now let's give this a try. So the chest is out. See how I'm leaning forward, but my chest is out, my shoulders are down. I'm not doing this. I don't even want to do that because I don't want to put myself in danger. Take you over here, see if I can find a spot where you can see the dips a little bit better. I'm just gonna take you on a journey with me real quick. Let's do this. We're on a journey. Never-ending journey. Yeah, you can kind of see. Get a little better angle. You can see what's going on a little better. It's tricky because the wall's right here. There's a wall in the way. So this seat, I'm literally sitting on the front of the seat. My feet are in front of this thing. I just found for me, when I put my feet behind, I get back into it, I can get into a weird position with my shoulder. My shoulder doesn't like it. So I sit a little farther forward, put my feet in front, and then I carefully just put myself into a sweet spot where I find a good sweet spot. I've been lifting so much you can't even see the definition anymore. It's funny because before you work out, I can go like this. The lighting's terrible over here. I can go like this, and you can see all kinds of definition. Like earlier you could see the cuts, but then when it gets full of blood, it gets so full of blood, like it just smooths it out, but it feels all tight. Because I've been doing a few sets, and plus I've done my whole chest workout. Which reminds me, I'm going to tell you what I did today. But let me just do this last set. So my feet are in front of that foot thing, and I'm going to sit towards the front of the seat. And I'm not coming super high with my arms, where I compromise that shoulder position again. Keeping it. Ooh, I got another angle I can show you. I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna use this mirror. This wall has a mirror on. Let's use that to our advantage. Since now the leg is in my way. Move this. Bear with me, folks. There we go. My shirt's getting too baggy on me. Tripod's a little bit in the way, so it's compromising me a little bit. touching the back. So, but another reason why I'm doing dips, I'm allowed to do dips today is because, not allowed, but you have to think about when you're training biceps and triceps. See, I've trained them now, I haven't trained biceps and triceps since Tuesday, and I don't train them again until Tuesday. So you can fit a little extra thing like this where it's a great finishing movement for the chest, but then it also hits your triceps, gives you a little extra few reps on your triceps to add that size to it. And I'm gonna do it like this for a couple weeks, and then you'll see my triceps will grow just from a couple weeks of super intense working out where I'm adding this little extra detail to the end of my chest workout. You'll see these start to pop. Well, they're just smoothed over right now, because literally earlier I can go like this and you can see the striations cutting in them, but right now they're just engorged with blood. So, and the lighting is horrible right here. It's like it washes me out. But I think that's it for my workout. So I did. I'm done. I just finished up over there. So I did machine press. I started with like a 40 rep set, just super light, just to loosen everything up. Then I did. Then I just increased a couple plates, did another 15, 20 reps. Increased a couple plates, did another 15, 20 reps. Increased it until I could barely get 10 to 12 reps. And then I was like, okay, now I'm warmed up. So I ended up doing 5 sets on the machine press where it hinges from the top, because I just found the arcing motion of the ones that hinge from the top just seemed to work better with my particular shoulder joint. But you can try whatever machines your gym has. You can experiment and find which ones work better for you. I know the ones where you load plates on the side, one tip is typically to put the seat a little higher. The lower you put the seat on any kind of machine, chest machine, the lower you put the seat, the more it tends to put pressure on your shoulder. The higher you put the seat, the more it puts your shoulder down and in a healthier position to the pushing motion. So anytime you're in the seat that's too low and the handles are way up here, boom, you're putting a lot of pressure on a very vulnerable area. So I really advise against that, especially as we get older. Training smart is the way to be able to train and be healthy forever. My buddy over here is 64, looks amazing, and who trains hard. That's why. It's the fountain of youth, I swear to God. Okay, now number 2, I went from there, I went over to incline dumbbell presses. And I worked my way up with those, 55s, then 65s, then 75s, and did a few sets with the 75, like 3 working sets with 75-pound dumbbells in each hand. The weight doesn't matter, it's the quality of what you're doing, and really feeling it and maxing out on your intensity is more the important than the actual number of the weight, because the weight varies. I mean, there's weeks where I feel good and I'll do 85 pounders in each hand on incline dumbbells. But the number is not what matters. I'm not trying to lift the most. I'm trying to be the smartest about my training, about my shoulders, about everything else. I'm trying to build long-term functional strength. I'm trying to stimulate connective tissue strength, muscle strength, joint strength, ligament, tendons. Everything gets strengthened by stimulating and using it and being intense about it, but doing it intensely smartly. And I think that's about the end of today's video, but let me wrap it up by finishing up the workout. So boom, I did those dumbbells, then I went over to a hammer strength style incline machine where you load the plates on either side and you sit in the chair, boom, boom, and my tip there was make sure that your chair's high enough. And I did 5 or 6 sets there, and then I did some dumbbell incline flies just to stretch the chest cavity out, and then I switched over to cable flies, and I ended up doing a bunch of sets of those, just going by feel. I did a bunch of sets of the higher ones, and then a bunch of sets of the low to high movement, and I was supersetting it with the dips here. That's the end of my chest workout. I'm gonna go finish it with 12 minutes, 15 minutes on the bike, just to spin the legs, no tension. So that I recommend on your weightlifting days to not necessarily do cardio. And there's a reason why, and I'm not going to get all into that, but you're better off to do a strength training day. Your next day, a cardio day where you're doing maybe abs and cardio. Whether it's, and if you have the weather and if you can, an outdoor cardio day. So one day's in a gym, the next day's outdoors doing cardio and doing abs and things like that. Then the next day again will be a gym day, and so on and so forth, alternating back and forth. And that has to do with spiking your metabolism with the weight training, and then the cardio spikes it temporarily, but it drops again, but the weight training carries it. And then by the time you hit weights again, you're hitting it again, so it just operates at a much higher RPM. And that's it. And then finish up your workouts though with 12 minutes spent on the bike with no tension, just spinning, 8 to 12 minutes. And that's literally just to pump blood, healing blood through the body, because it's gonna heal my legs from my leg workout yesterday. It's gonna flush blood back through my system for the upper body. It's gonna transfer everything around and move all that blood around and get the oxygen flowing through the rest of my muscles. And then I do a gentle stretch after that, and then I'm done. So it's on a strength training day, it's hardcore intense workout, building slowly up into a hardcore intense workout. It starts with very light, high rep sets, and then it gets more and more intense. Boom, 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 until by the end it's like, rah! And then boom, you finish it with 8 to 12 minutes on the bike, spin it out, flush that blood, clean that system out, and then do a light stretch, and then you're good to go. And then tomorrow, for example, I'm gonna go, since I trained legs yesterday, I could barely walk today, because I trained super hard, like high volume. I ended up doing like, God, if I include the 100 bodyweight squats that I did on top of the 150 squats that I did, and then the leg presses and everything, I did over like 450 reps, I think it was. So it was a high volume, a little bit lower in the weight, but super high volume leg workout yesterday. So tomorrow is going to be a run day where I'm going to do it more like an active recovery. So instead of running up a mountain or doing hardcore trail running, boy, the loudspeakers are loud. So instead of doing a hardcore blah blah blah. Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. Okay. So tomorrow, instead of running up a mountain doing a hardcore trail run on a technical, gnarly, hilly trail, tomorrow I'm gonna go on a nice, flat, even cruising trail where I can do like an active recovery and just like ease into it and just let my body work out the lactic acid from my leg workout on Thursday. And it's like a long, like an hour-long active recovery run, and then I'll do like a long stretching routine after that. And then that's how I close out my week, and then Sunday is going to be back. So look forward to talking with you guys soon. Hope these tips are helpful to you. TJ, Warrior Dad, signing off.